Sideways, wave 5, now going to a bear market in my opinion, or you can say a corrective wave on the macro, ABC, or a 5-way count. Historically, we've seen other charts do much worse. I'm going to explain why I think this is the case. But we can also see that as Bitcoin lost its macro trend line, the Binance coin did the same. So we have this, and we're looking on the weekly chart. We have our reference points all along there, and the moment we lose it, bang. Funny enough, it's aligned with Bitcoin. And that, I'm ashamed to say, I missed 40% drop. Now that's 3 weeks in a row. You would expect a bit of a bounce here, and we saw that week. So I'll be interested to trade this. Now the question is, how much would it go up? Would it come up to this level, this fib level as a resistance? So what we're going to do is, and we won't go with the elite wave count. It is a wave 5. We're going to see if this is a moderate correction, or is it going to be a deep correction? That's the question. That's the moderate, A, B, C, but I think it's going to go further down, but time will tell. Let's see how we go with this. Now what we're going to do is, if we look at the indicators showed us on the weekly long time ago that there's a crossover there, and if you know divergences, this one didn't give it to you until it was there, but you can see the moving average on the RSI was a perfect shorting position on the weekly. Too many charts to look for all this stuff. It's always hindsight later on. And we can see that this has come down below the 50% level, so that is bearish. Until we regain the 50% level on the weekly, we're not going to be bullish. From an RSI perspective, previous bottoms were down there, all along there, so we're pretty much close to it. However, you can see here, it took a while for bullish diversion to kick in before we made a move up, and same here. So, but in this case, the momentum is down. We have, like you can see, that's bullish divergence playing out. It's starting to turn back up. The RSI, if you use RSI on the weekly, you can just put lines like that, and if it breaks above the moving average of the RSI as well as a trend line, then you can be bullish. However, you want to be in context with what it's doing at the time. I wish I saw that. That would have been a beautiful trade. Here is pretty hard, but anyway. So macro-wise, it's not doing the best. Now let's look for a trade setup. If we take this away, just a sec. Very clean chart when you really think about it. Now, one always expects from there to there, right, is a measured move. So, yeah, it's perfect, really. So the measured move took place. So one would expect a reversal of some sort, or further down. So now it's going to be hard. Now what I have here is levels. And why is that not? Okay. Before I do that. So that is the fixed range volume profile. If you don't know about that, you should learn. That's a value area high. Let's just chuck that in there. That's going to be one of the main resistances. What I want to do is put in our candlestick ones. I did not see a weekly there, but let's just do that for a sec. So if we go into a smaller time, 3 days. So we can see here, we've got the weekly, the value area high, and in the past, you can see that is potentially, and up here as well, as a resistance. Um, so we can see from a Fibonacci perspective that is also a resistance. I'm not sure what that, yep, that is Fibonacci. Don't need that. At our move, that's the 10, that's the 1 hour. Let's go to the 4 hour. All right, the 4 hour, we're looking at 10 and 20 moving average. It does its role. Let's see what we got. There's a crossover there, so we're expecting it to come up. RSI is bouncing up. It's not past the 50% level yet. Yeah, so we're expecting it to come back up and then further down again. So what we've done is just pull our Fibonacci. We've got to see a reaction. On the 4 hour, we want to see how it behaves. Right now, it's at a resistance at this Fibonacci as well as this level. However, I've got the daily and so we're expecting, if it comes up to this level, we're expecting a pullback. It's in conjunction with here, I suppose. Can't rely on that, and can't really rely on that at this point, but they're in confluence, meaning that the indicators are matching, a convergence, sorry, they're in convergence with price. So what we're looking for is more highs to come, really. There's no trade now. We missed it. It's a range, and potentially that could be the range there. So if price gets a rejection here, it lines up there. If it gets a rejection and ABC, and then further down. So we have a bit of a bear flag on the bigger time frame, and what we expect if it's accumulation for it to drop and then continue on further. So we're going to have a big accumulation range. Yeah, that's it for a reversal sign type of scenario. However, it will be my thinking that we're expecting more lows, and that's what we're expecting. So we're going to look at this, get a rejection at the 0.5 maybe, might find some support, and then the 618 there, because we've got the top and we've got the bottom. That makes all sense. And we are looking for shorting position. Why we're looking for shorting is downtrend. Until the trend changes on the 4 hour, we're not going to change our opinion with it. Bitcoin's no different. So what we're looking for is a short entry. Now, the anchored VX there, so 0.5 is aligned with our weekly and value area high. I'm sure if I look on a daily, if it's there, it's there. But we've got enough as it is. So anchored VWAC, 10 and 20 moving average, which is convergent. It's been resistance all the way through. Here is my level, 668 type of thing. Look for a rejection candle, either on the smaller time frame or the 4 hour, and then look for further lows. And we couldn't get another raise to get above here, some liquidity, but definitely down from there, because that anchored VWAP's looking to come at the 618 level as well, and further down. Now, if we look on a 1 hour time frame, is there a pattern that we can use to our benefit? Not really. There's nothing really bullish about this. Why is not bullish? Besides that wick, we're having higher lows, higher highs, but they're crossing over in each other's lane. So if this was high and and didn't go below it and kept doing that, that would have been bullish. But we're going down, so it's like a rising wedge of some sort, and eventually we're going to find resistance, something like that, or further up, which is here. And if we might just get the ABC, but I like that scenario there. Liquidity is there, resistance support there. That is my level of interest. But we might not even get that high. We might just get there and come back down. I'm going to leave that, guys. I don't think there's more to it. We're expecting more lows. If I haven't covered the macro low, let me have a. Oh, I haven't actually. So let's go and talk about the macro, why we're justifying further lows, and what's in our interest here. All right, 0 and 1. Golden ratios here. That's the minimum that we're thinking. However, alts do tend to perform crap, but you can see over here we've got the value high, so we might just get something there, a bounce. So this could be wave 3, wave 4, and further down. Now we might get it there or further down. Take out the liquidity there. And what we do is all the way to the bottom and all the way to the top, we put our 1.618. It's my method. Then we might actually, if it's really bad, we get a bounce. And that could be our wave 1. Oh, sorry. So that could be a wave 1, wave 2, wave, or ABC, sorry. And like that. You might say, oh, that's too much, 124. So we had a strong run, wave 5. It is a corrective wave. It's an alt. So it wouldn't surprise me if it comes down here. However, this level will be major support level. And we'll probably see something like that. Is that ABC enough there? Or further down to a 618 level here? That's one way of looking at it. Let's just hide this for a sec. So 6.68 roughly there. That's aligned. So I'll put my golden ratio down here. If I was to slightly bring it up to this level here, golden ratio acting as a resistance. So there is alignment. So if you look at that point, it's aligned with the 618 at that point. So it's really pretty good. And we've got the value high as well. So this lines up well. And we are actually at the resistance of this as well. So if we're going close, yeah, we're there. That's going to be resistance as well from the Fibonacci. So if we do this, there we go, 618. So now we've got another reason. So that's a daily. That's that. So it's really going to struggle here at this point. Will I take that? No, I still won't take it unless I see a lot of wicks, and then I'll do that. But if I see this go up and then come back down, because we accumulate of shorts here, then I expect the last one to come up and then back down again. But let's see, that's going to take time. But at this point, this is the main resistance for that reason, the 0.382 based on this level. And we take it one level at a time, weekly, and we spoke about the value of high and all others. So we discussed that. We've got a lot of reasons for this to be resistance, but further down is what I'm expecting. And a wave 5 count type of thing. I'm going to leave that, guys. Please give me a like and share, and I'll talk to you soon.